What is going on? I'm zmoT, also known as T-Moz or a non-moose. You get me early morning before coffee because today is War Factory Day, groggy voice day. We're going to have a look, see what Gearhart's got for us. But before we do that, if you click on the news tab, sure enough, Johnson has located some intel. If we scroll down, Everspark, the one who builds things, says cybernetic humanoid. Come on, that's got to be a mech. That explains a mech to me 1000%. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, do check my previous videos from the last 2 days explaining it all in more detail. Let's have a look, see what Everspark's mom, Miss Gearhart, has in store for us. So we've got 4 shock launchers on this left-hand side. There is not a lot of damage there whatsoever, though. So especially this front left shock launcher, I'm a little bit concerned that it's going to shock the boom cannon. So what we're going to do here is I am going to mark these 2 right-hand shock launchers. We're going to drop Everspark in. I did not intentionally did not mark that front left one because what I want to do is I want to get rid of the other ones first. I think that's the safer route. And I'm not going to double hack. It's going to cost us a couple extra GBE, but at the same time, I really, really do think that that is going to be the right way to go. So we're going to get that hack out. We're right next to those flamethrowers, so it's going to be a little bit dicey for sure, but I think it's this. Look at this. You see how slow the health on that shock launcher is going down? That is the only way to do this, I think, folks. We're going to get the health as low as we can by hacking these things, and then what we're going to do is we're going to BART it out for the rest of the health, just because otherwise nothing's going to go down, and having 2 buildings active is going to cut the damage in half between the 2 of them. So we definitely don't want to do that. And now that that's done, we can start throwing some gunboat energy right on top. That's going to hopefully clear a few shock mines and hopefully get rid of a... there we go. So we managed to get rid of 3 shock launchers, which is far, far better than I had expected. I thought we were going to end up with super, mid-level health, but we ended up getting pretty good on the health front. So next up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear these mines right in here. We are very, very likely going to head over and get rid of those shield gens, but for now, that's a pretty good first hit. Need to be super careful with those left-hand side shock launchers if you're going to try and hack them. Now that that's done, let's just get moving and shaking. So that shock launcher is the most damaged building in the area. We're going to drop Everspark right about here, and then I'm going to flare into here. Now, why I'm flaring the ground instead of flaring flaring the rocket launcher is that I want to place her where I know she's going to be in range of the shock launcher. If she went wide to the left-hand side, she might not be in range of that shock launcher, and that would be bad, okay? Now, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to throw a shock on the shock launcher, and then I'm going to throw my second hack. My thinking is that shock launcher was going to turn and shock that boom cannon, which would not have been a good thing. So we've got 3 hotpots working on that flamethrower up top. Yep, see, look at that. That shock launcher turned, threw a shock onto that boom cannon, and as a result, it did not die. So make sure you shock that shock launcher. I might have shocked it a little bit on the early side, but we still managed to get rid of it, which is fantastic. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw all sorts of gunboat energy onto those 2 lasers that are closest. What I'm going to do is I'm going to flare this laser and then have my zookas clear those closer 2 lasers next. So doing pretty well. 2 good. I would give those B+, A-. We're working towards getting all the stuff we need. Next up, I'm going to get rid of this shore stuff. We have 3 attacks left, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend everyone do this, but I don't want to have to deal with all of these grapplers. So and why I'm going to use brick is I want to stay the heck away from those lasers, and we're just going to clear those 2 shore grapplers because that way it'll free up access to those, what are those things called? Those are called shield generators. And so by moving slightly to the right, we should be able to clear all of this stuff without any difficulty. a little bit nasally today. We're going to shock a little bit early, not super duper late, and now we're just clearing all of those things. I'm going to throw a smoke over in here, just trying to keep all of my troops alive, throwing out all sorts of shocks and things. And I mean, realistically, that's all we really need. I'm going to hit the retreat button and we're going to retreat, and that will hopefully be enough to get all of our troops into position. See those artillery? They didn't land. So I'm okay with that. It would have been far, far better to have them land, obviously. Let's go. It's time to get rid of some lasers and some hot pots and things, and then we'll take the core down. I'm not sure if we're going to have time for a high-level solo attempt, but we're just going to keep moving, and we'll see how long this video is, and possibly throw a second level attack in, depending on how much time we have. So now that we have gotten rid of all of that stuff, we should be able to do a nice walk along the beach if you don't drop so close to those boom cannons. And then I'm going to save my rifles and Everspark until the corner here, and then we're going to flare right into there. This is going to be a bit sketchy for sure, simply because rifles and zookas take up different amounts of space, and so hopefully everyone stays underneath the smoke. We will find out very, very, very soon. I'm going to throw this shock right there. Okay, so we did manage to shock all of the things, and now all of our zookas should be able to get rid of the lasers. Nope, going to have to use a second shock, unfortunately. Not the end of the world, but it would have been nice to not have to do that. Now we're going to back the heck away. This is the problem. Those hot pots are very close to those flamethrowers. So what I'm going to do is I don't even know what I'm going to do yet. But we've got lots and lots of critters out front, and there's only 1 or 2 grapplers grabbing us right now because we got rid of these 2 in here. So we should be able to farm all sorts of gunboat energy. I can see my computer is not happy. Hopefully we're not dealing with dropped frames. If I am, I'm so sorry. It's early morning and my computer is not... I think we're overheating because I have my computer sitting on my bed for too much information possibly. But like I said, early morning. That is the state of affairs. You guys want War Factory early in the morning. That's what you get. So at this point, we've got 2 hot pots popped. 1 hot pot is not up. That is going to be a problem. Thankfully, we've got some critters right there. Hopefully it turns... Oh, it didn't. I was really hoping it was going to turn towards the critters, but that did not happen. So let's move over here. You know what? I really want to retreat right now, but we're not going to do that. Let's just shock some of these grapplers, let some critters accumulate, and that should help us when we go for those shield generators in just a second or two. Now, do we need to go for the shield generators? Possibly not, but getting rid of those shield generators is going to be the... you know what? I think we actually do, because we've got 4 grapplers that would be reaching for our troops, and you really don't want 4... With low-level zookas, that many... grapplers grabbing your zookas would not go over well. You would end up with all sorts of problems because you're just going to lose way too many troops. So now that we've gotten rid of that last shield gen right about now, we're going to back off, pull out, and see if we can't just take this down on this hit. It's going to be very... I don't think we have any chance, but retreating isn't going to do us any good at this point. So let's just keep moving on forward, see if those zookas can take this puppy down. We've gotten rid of a second grappler as well, so all sorts of good stuff happening here. You probably... I think taking these shore grapplers was a great idea. I don't think that we would get close to this far without that attack, so... I don't think I'd change anything about these attacks. I should have planned a little bit better for these shield gens. Maybe I should have gone for shield gens, then gone wide and gotten the hot pots. But those hot pots, you see where those zookas are standing? They would have gotten absolutely wrecked. So I'd say just copy this exactly. I wouldn't make too many changes, I don't think, if any. Maybe throwing a bit more gunboat energy on those lasers. But overall, pretty happy with that. That basically worked out exactly as I would have hoped. fairly simple takedown. The most difficult part is getting those lasers on the left-hand side, and if you're somewhat competent with smoke, that should be okay. And the other thing, you don't have to use zookas to get rid of those lasers. If you have instant training, you could switch it up and even use warriors, for example. There goes War Factory on the HQ18. We're going to quickly switch, and we'll try it with a different troop combo. I'll be back in just a second. Okay, let's do it, folks. What we're going to do is, I don't have a clue yet. Let's just have a look and see what kind of troops we want to use for that, how much shield there is. So it's a 2 million health shield, 2.6 million core. So need to get rid of those shield gens, which means we need to do some sort of magic. Grapplers are going to make bullet not super awesome. I don't know. I'm curious to hear what you guys are doing here. There's a lot of grapplers here, and they're going to be constantly a pain in the butt. So how much health on those shock launchers? Not a lot. So that should definitely help us out. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go with... I'm really tempted to do warships troops just because the cryo rifles... I would obviously don't have the cryo bombardiers. You know what? Let's do that. Let's do 3 and 5 with rifles and bombardiers. Hopefully the rifles are going to keep all the grapplers happy. Now I only have brick on warships, so let's use brick. This is going to be a bad idea, but at this point there is a slim chance that we solo this. Very, very slim chance, simply because we do have max level artillery, max level barrage. So now the question is, what do we artillery, what do we barrage? My thinking is I was thinking originally I was going to get rid of those shock launchers, but I think if I get a perfect shock, I can possibly get all 7 of those defenses there. I really don't think I can, but a rocket launcher... Oh, this is going to be just a complete... You know what? Let's just get rid of the shock launchers. That's going to be step number 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're asking if I knew how much gunboat energy to get rid of them, the answer is I have no idea whatsoever. Just throwing out basic numbers and then hoping for the best possible results. So that is that. That is that. Shock launcher is gone. See how much easier it is with a max level account. Now what we're going to do is we're going to drop some critters right about here, and then all of our troops in behind that, and hope that those critters keep our friendly neighborhood grabblers happy for a second or so. And now we're just going to shock some things, get our troops moving and rocking and rolling. Getting rid of all of these shield gens is the plan right now. And, of course, all of those flamethrowers and machine guns and stuff are going to be a massive problem, simply because clone riflemen obviously clone things, and these regular riflemen not doing quite so much. So not necessarily a great idea bringing riflemen to the party, but you know what? Whatever. Now we're going to move our troops over. We're going to get some critters out front, and we're just going to run all the way to that core. There are going to be so many flotsams in front of us, and it's going to be a complete and utter train wreck. Brick is not the right hero for this. If we had Everspark, we could have done a ton more damage, but that isn't the point of this. This is just trying to show you can take this stuff down using basically any troops that happen to come your way, because max level accounts just showing how quickly that we were able to barrage those initial shock launchers. Max level accounts can use basically any troops. Find a way to make it fun. If you want to send some warriors, that's not a good idea. Watch where you put your critters, obviously, because otherwise you're going to have all sorts of lasers activating on your face, and that is not a good idea whatsoever. So now that we've gotten rid of... you know what? We came pretty darn close to pulling off a solo using the absolute wrong types of troops. And at this point, I don't think we have any hope, though, because we're too far into those lasers range. So maybe if we move slightly down into here, getting away from those lasers a little bit, Oh, it's going to be so close, but now we're into grappler range, so I was thinking maybe, just maybe, we could find a little hidey hole where those dudes could reach the core, but it looks like that is not going to be the case because those grapplers on the right-hand side key in, or the lasers on the left-hand side key in, but I did not expect us to get this close using brick, rifles, and bombardiers. If you used all bombardiers, you probably could have gotten rid of all of this stuff. Let's throw a flare right onto there. Probably going to bring us into grappler range. I'm hoping that this one last dude is going to be able to get rid of that last flotsam. And then I'm going to get one more artillery, and then we're going to retreat. So I'm pretty excited about that. That was far better than I expected it to be. We've got what... I don't think there's any debating it at this point. The mech is coming. The mech is coming. What the mech will do, we have no idea. Oh, look at that. Look at that. We could have flared the core. There is enough room to get a couple bombardiers in there. We're not going to do enough damage, but I am just blown away right now. I probably could have taken this down had I have flared the core a little bit earlier. Might have been able to get 2 bombardiers in there. Pretty darn good. We managed to get about half of the health of the core and all these buildings, all by using absolutely ridiculous troops. Excuse me. I need coffee so badly right now. We're going to reload those troops using our instant training, and now we're just going to walk forward. There's no reason why we can't. You know what? Let's get rid of those lasers just because why the heck not? We're going to throw some critters back there, and now we're just going to walk right into here, doing our, is it a semi-Lego shock? I don't know how to call that. Anyways, we're going to do our semi-Lego shock. We're going to get rid of all of this stuff. We're going to keep some critters over there, because otherwise that rocket launcher is going to be a complete and utter pain. And then just some medkits and all sorts of lasers. I wonder if I can shock the laser and the rocket launcher. Probably. Yeah, there we go. So that's what we were after. And now we're just going to get the heck away from that laser and finish it off. Uh-oh, apparently there's a shock mine there that I did not see. Make sure you look for shock mines, obviously. And now we're just going to run up to the core and make it go kablowy. Let's shock those flotsams. Let's get some battle orders out, and then that should do it for everything and anything. Anyways, that is 2 ways to do the same thing. As always, I'm zmoT. Thanks for coming in. Peace.